Okay. Yo, Trips, is there a like, when you go from one sequence to another, is there a way that the sequences can cut each other off, like instead of a track mute, like a sequence mute? What the fuck is going on here? What am I doing? What happened to my live two? I never had a live two. I see what you're saying, Trips. Yeah, I don't understand how that's not a thing. Like, I get how it wouldn't be a thing in the older MPCs. and people came up with the one velocity workaround. Like I get that for the older NPCs, but I mean, like, dude, how is that not a thing here? That's so crazy. That one's too short. That's what she said. No, why you sound like that though? Nice. You mean you want the shit to stop early, pause, then the next shit drops? No, I mean like, say I'm playing, and I know that there's ways to do it, but say for some reason I wanted to make a beat that had two 808 samples in it, right? And I go from sequence one to sequence two, and I've got a sample that is note that is a one shot, right? I'm using the 808 as a one shot without turning it to, like note on, right? And cutting it and doing it like that. How, like, going from one scene to another, I don't want that one shot sample to carry on into the next scene, right? Automation, no, bro. I just want the scenes. Just set a mute for the pad that you want to cut off. If they're on different tracks in different programs. But you see what I'm saying, bro? Like when you change scenes, like it's so goofy. Like when you change scenes, the NPC should just not play anything from the previous scene. I want to hear that shit. Like that should be like a simple thing that we could do. You know. Anyway. Beautiful. That's better. Let me get this mix right. One thing I've learned with this NPC shit and feature requests is for every person that wants a specific feature, there's somebody that wants it to do the exact opposite thing. But since you're 808 that example on different tracks and different programs, then you want it to be that way. The best bet is to automate the mute. Yeah. Yeah, so I see what you're saying. So just record it in Studio One. Yeah, bro. I just wonder. I always try to like find. I always like have this fantasy of like, yo, I'm gonna do everything on here one day, and it's just like just record the patterns on Studio One. Yeah. Oh. Okay, let's make this shit sound cool, babies. Time correction. Gonna make that a 52, babies. Feeling like an open hat kind of Saturday. Just feeling like an open hat kind of Saturday. Okay, Ruben. All right, Chips. Appreciate you tapping in. All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? So, what I was talking about on producer courses earlier, in the last tutorial video we did, was just about making all these patterns and how you can kind of just navigate through it when you kind of have a plan, right? So the point is, if you if you have a plan, right? So you should kind of have a I don't know, like a, like a little go-to sequence that you can lean into whenever you need it, right? Kind of like just something you can write it down. You can write it down if you need to. Um, um, I like to have it up in the what's it called, in the arranger track inside Studio One, just as kind of a reminder. Um, but I have pretty much this memorized, right? So I know for two patterns, I'm gonna have music changes. I'm gonna change the loop, right? And then inside this sample, I'm going to look for another chop of the sample. So that's three patterns already. That's three, right? Then if I'm making like a trap style beat here, I'm gonna have one section that is just the straight hi-hat. Then I'm gonna have another section that is, has hi-hat rolls in it, right? So that's a couple of patterns. Just by changing the music and adding hi-hat rolls to a pattern, that's four independent patterns right there. Then you could say like, all right, I'm gonna have a section of the beat that has no drums. That's five. And then for your sixth pattern, you could just, but as long as you have those five, you can, you could go nuts. And then your sixth pattern is just a matter of winging it, right? So you never have to like put yourself in a box where it's just like, oh, how am I gonna make all these patterns? What is how am I going to be able to do this? I'll never be creative enough. I have to wait for Beat Jesus to come and whisper the arrangement to me. No, you don't. You just need these four patterns and then enough creative inspiration to make another one. So let's do the trap drums pattern. I'm just gonna go and hit the MPC. We'll go to copy sequence, main, and I'll do this, and I'll just be like hi hat rolls. So I know. Boom. Do it. Now I've got this second sequence. And notice that before I went into another sequence, I did all my time correction stuff. Like that's something, don't be lazy with that. If you do time correction on your drums, like I like to shift my hi-hats over, I like to swing my kicks. If you duplicate a whole bunch of patterns, you're never going to go back and do your time correction stuff. Or if you do, it's going to be annoying. So make sure you put your velocity on your patterns. Make sure you do your time correction stuff when you're working in the MPC. Then duplicate your patterns. So you don't have to go back and bother with it, bro. Trust me. I should have recorded that. God damn it. It's gonna take me so long to hit that again. I lied. I got it. Ooh, that's nasty. That's nasty. So now we can go in between the two. All right, so let's so that's the easy, that's the easy second one, right? Retro recording. Bro, I don't, you know what? I don't know how to do retrospective recording. If you want to if you want to let me know, like seriously, I don't know how to do it inside of this. A retrospective recording is one of my favorite features. If you know how to retro record on this, please let me know. Touchtone, what's up, bro? Thanks for tapping in. Touchtone says the one. How do you like it compared to the 2500? Tell you guys a funny story. So I was riding in the car, and the beat that I use for this intro in my new content, I I did a, what's it called? I was just riding in the car and I was listening to beats, and I put that beat on. Um and I was listening to it, and I knew that I made it on an MPC, and I was listening to it. I was like, man, that kick in that 2500, whoo, slap, slapping steen, slaptastic, right? And then um when I looked for the file, it was something that I had created in MPC One, right? So um I'm still not the whole like sound thing. Shout out to Jayon. The whole sound thing, like dude, I love the way that the beats that I make inside the 2500 sound, and I like the workflow that the 2500 forces me to use. You know, it's a lot more hands on. It's a lot more playing your patterns in. Using the step sequencer is much more annoying in the 2500 than it is in the MPC one. So it forces me to like be better with my patterns and be like more on top of my playing, and really just like, it's also changed the way I make beats a lot now, because if it, like when I go and I do the tutorials for producer courses and I have to click in drums, I'm just like, oh my god, I don't want to do this. I don't want to click in this step sequencer. It's so annoying. But you know, it just seems like super lame. Um, but I mean, comparing these two machines, bro, you know, as somebody just who came up using MPCs like back when it was hard, like, I mean, like, how do you even compare the MPC one to the MPC 2500? Like, the MPC 2500, it's iconic, but it also has some glitches, right? The MPC one doesn't have no glitches. Like, the thing is the new MPCs, they've tightened up so much from the old workflows. Like all the stuff that you wanted from JJOS, it has. You know, it's got better time stretch offline. It's got key detection. It's got VSTs in it. It's got effects in it. It's got halftime in it. It's got the what's it called? You can use the SD cards, you know, for smaller memory. It's just, you know, it's awesome. I just don't really have like enough usage with the 2500 to say like, yo, using those 8 outs, and you know, there's just something so much more beneficially sonically, you know. I'm using the 2500, you know, because of workflow, and because it makes the process harder, which is more fun for me at this point. Now that you're acclimated, how different is the workflow for what you were doing in machine? Um, Arranging in machine is a lot easier, right? So when I worked in machine, I liked, like, especially when I had a jam, you know, like I was arranging a lot, like how I arrange in Ableton, like creating all these different scenes and triggering them and stuff. But the actual, I like chopping samples in MPC. Like I'm talking about MPC two, like MPC two versus machine, like MPC, like the software. I like chopping samples way better in MPC, way better. The touchscreen makes it so easy, so fast. Lazy chop is awesome. Having the key detection is awesome. Um, I like MPC workflow way better than machine, bro. Av McCree is in the building. Says Fruity Loops is the best DAW ever, and he is right. Nothing can beat Fruity Loops. Best DAW ever. Laffy Taffy was constructed in Fruity Loops. How could you argue with that? Crank That by Soulja Boy Tell 'em. How could you argue with that? It gave us Crank That. The seminal record Crank That. What would hip hop be if not for Soulja Boy and Crank That? All right, so let's duplicate this thing. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna go to that 1-2 progression, right? So we'll go to my sample. Let's go to sample edit. Bing bong. All right, so now we can go to the baseline. Grab this buddy. Grab this little buddy right here. Take him. Transpose him up. Right? So now we go here, copy this one again, and we're just gonna go here and we'll say this one is no drums, right? Oh my god, it's like almost a song. Look at this. Crazy. Boom. So you got no drums here. Go to your drum track, erase it. Go to your bass track, erase it. So that's what we got: one, two, three, four unique patterns. Then you just need to go get that number 5, bro. You just gotta go get that number 5. And number five is super easy, right? Like we could take our we could take our main again, go here, copy this sequence, do it, and we got 5, right? We got hi-hat rolls in 5. I'm saying we got hi-hat rolls on the track already, so why don't we have any snare action, right? I never knew that was on the step sequencer. I did not know that you could go through the pads like that. see. It's just arranging on the MPC is so hard. MPC song mode is just so confusing. They just make it so hard to work on this. I just don't understand. I just don't understand why it's so hard to work inside MPC song mode. I just wish that I could see the whole song laid out in MPC song mode. Why won't MPC let me see the whole song laid out in MPC song mode so that I can make changes to the arrangement? Oh, see, that's the shit I'm talking about. I don't want you to do that anymore. Where's my main? But like y'all know, if you want to see your whole arrangement in like after you do it in song mode, you just press convert to sequence on here. And then you could see the whole thing. And then, you know, for you guys that are all like, me, I can't arrange unless I can see all the boxes of the whole song. I don't know where to mute my snare. Then once you have it all in the one sequence, then you just like, okay, do your little snare mutes with your finger or your stylus or, you know, on the mouse or however you want to do it, you know, or you could just program your patterns like a man. Like a big bag man. Av McCree says arranging beats in the MPC is a crap ton faster and easier than any DAW. Yeah, dude, it's really not as crazy as people make it. I don't get it. But I think that's because we've grew up with song mode. You know, I think that's the disconnect. Like people just didn't grow up with song mode, so they don't really know what song mode is. You know, they think song mode is being able to see all the squares. Drew says, then if you have to change one part of a pattern, you're fucked. No, that is not true. That is not true, Drew. You're a fucking defeatist. That is not true. Like, question, what happened? Like, do you do you not put this in a DAW? Does this not go in a DAW? You just put it in a DAW. You just throw it in the DAW. You're gonna put it in a DAW to mix it, so you just throw it in a DAW. Make a little change there. I don't know. For me personally, the like compartmentalizing stuff and like what I'm showing you guys, like how I showed you like how to easily build five patterns, right? And to have an interesting arrangement. You know, it's so much easier to go from pattern to pattern to pattern to pattern to pattern and then put them on your timeline. You don't have to see it on the timeline. Like you don't have to see it. You don't have to see it. If you go back and change one clap, the pattern's all messed up. It's not like machine. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know that I don't I really don't understand that. Yeah, I really don't understand that. Like I've got my whole look, dude. I did the song, right? Okay, so here's the song. And I'm on, let's see, I go to the drums track and I go to my piano roll, right? And say like this is what people cry about. I don't know if this is what you're talking about, Drew, but this is what people cry about, right? I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. People are like, I want to see it linear. All right, so here's bar 5 and then here's throughout the whole song. So like if at this point I wanted to mute something or if I wanted to go in here and add snares or take away kicks or have do a kick roll here or something at a certain point in the song on bar 62, I could do it. You know what I mean? Like I could do it. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't know, bro. Like it's not like FL block patterns. Like, bro, Laffy Taffy was made on FL block patterns, bro. I don't care about FL block patterns. I am sight. What up, bro? I'm in the garage putting Grunk Bros. I have to love vicariously working through you for a couple hours, bro. Get it in, bro. Take care of the house. Take care of the house. I don't care about linear. It's just about thinking in patterns that can reference each other. I don't, yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, say what you want. Change a melody in sequence one. You have to go all the way back to your copied sequences to have that same melody. I don't. What? I don't understand what this man is talking about. so if I go, so if I like, I don't have any melodies. I got samples going. Well, let's take the 808 pattern, right? So here's the main 808 pattern, right? So if I go, So say I'm on so I'm on this main 808 pattern, right? And I say I want to just say I wanted to just make it a one hit deal, right? And I just wanted to go come on, bitch. You playing with me. All right, so that, just for sake of discussion, I just wanted to do this, right? Okay, so say I just changed that, right? That doesn't affect any of my other sequences. Like what are you talking about, bro? Like that doesn't affect any of my other sequences. This is now if I go here, each one of these patterns don't reference each other. They're unique, to put it in FL speak. They're like they're all unique. Yeah, but you want them to propagate to all sequences? No, you don't. No, no, that workflow. No, 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 no. That's not a good workflow. That's that's not a good workflow. that is that's not a good workflow. no, sir. no, sir. I mean, to each his own, but that is not for me. That is no, 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 no. You make the joint, you copy it, and then you change it, right? yeah, no, bro. but why? Like, so because it's not useful, right? Like I don't like maybe that's useful to somebody who makes a lot of changes in in their stuff, right? But I don't work like that. If I like on MPC, I have a sample. The same I sit there, I listen to the sample, I pick the sample goes. I make the drums, and then I duplicate that, and then I make the song. I've never been in a situation like I've never been in a situation on my MPC where I've made a whole bunch of sequences and then I've been like, damn, I really wish, or a whole bunch of scenes, and I've been like, damn, I really wish that I could make one change and it go to all. Like, that's never happened to me, bro. Believe it or not, that has never happened to me. That's why I'm not relating. That has never ever 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 happened to me. Yeah, no problem. That's exactly what he's saying. But that's never ever happened to me. that's never ever happened to me. Yeah, I don't think it's an issue of competence. I think it's just the issue of of how people create, right? So I would say MPC definitely lends itself to a much more decisive uh workflow, you know. But I could definitely see I could definitely see why, if that's how you work, you know what I mean, and not being able to do that, I could definitely see how that'd be a deal breaker for sure. Let me save this bad boy. Yeah, yeah, PK. I love it, bro. It's a fucking fun workflow. I am Sight says being scared to commit to your melody at arrangement time is too much overthinking the track, in my opinion. I agree with you, Sight. I come from, but you know, like me, you, Av, PK, like we come from using this stuff. He's coming from like a FL Studio perspective where that was like a big tenet of their workflow. You know what I mean? So like there was no, like for us there was no like going back and changing the melody. Like that was so, there was such an immense penalty for going back and changing a melody that that our skill set became decisiveness. You know what I'm saying? Being able to say, "Oh, okay, this is the melody, right? This is dope," and then we're going to the drums. So that makes you like one, that makes you one type of producer, right? Whereas like the FL Block type of producer, their skill might be like fucking spending 4 hours at the computer and curating until they get it right. You know? Yeah, like that way you can hear your melody with like two or three 808 patterns. Yeah, dude, bro, like I don't know if you're trying to sell me on that way of working, but I would never do that ever, never, never. And this is, and don't take this the wrong way, right? Don't take, because I'm not saying this about you. I hope I've said enough that you don't misconstrue this. Like I hope you've been listening to me. But for me, if I felt like I needed to cycle my melody through 19 808 patterns, I would feel like I was losing my touch. You know what I'm saying? Because what I've built, like my whole workflow and like honed my whole talent around, and sharpened the equipment that I buy and everything like that is based on decisive action. It's based on being able to make a decision. It's based on confidence. It's based on knowing like, hey, I'm fucking good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at this shit, right? I know how to make beats. So if I hear something and it's going, I don't need to hear it juxtaposed against anything again, because that first thing that I heard, that where I was like, that sounds good. I'm trusting that, right? Because in my opinion and in my philosophy, that is the most pure communication. That's the communication from source. Let's get fucking weird, bro. Let's get weird. That's the communication from the source energy, right? Anything that comes after second, third, or fourth, that's your pussy ass ego, right? Coming in being like, hey, I don't know if that sounds good, but I want to try something else. And like personally, to me, I'm not saying that the way that you work is trash. I really hope that you're not getting that. I'm just saying this is how it works. This is how it works in my house, right? I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong. If that shit works for you and you make slaps, that's the way you do it. But for me, the way that I interpret it, the first inkling, that's source. You listen to that, right? You listen to that. Well, that second voice, that second voice, that's telling you that's telling you no, whatever you want to call it. It's a jinn, it's the devil, it's your ego, it's whatever. That's what's fighting you. That's what's saying like, nah, dude, don't do it, right? That's what's telling you, yo, don't talk to that girl. That's what's telling you like, nah, don't take that job. That's what's telling you like, nah, don't move from your hometown. That's what's telling you like, nah, don't go to the studio, right? I never, ever, ever, ever listen to that shit. Right? Never. Especially not in this space. This is the sacred space, right? This is where we literally move air into sound, right? It's very magical. So that's why like I'm super passionate about that, and it's something it's something that I learned from my mentors in you know in making music. That's why we love features like retrospective record and stuff like that, where we can just capture those performances. That's why we love hardware. That's why we love recording audio, because you could capture happy accidents and implement them into the music. That's like the definition of inspiration. You know, that's all, man. Rumothy says sometimes you just got to make whack ass beats. My best beats were made with quick decisions. Yeah, bro. Bro, I'm telling you. For me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it's always like that. My MPC workflow works best if I build a huge sequence, then copy that sequence, and yeah, Rudy Rhythms. Mine is very similar. People who do too many switch ups do it for other producers, not knowing that the rappers just hate that. It's a balance, Rudy. Like, you can be careful with that mentality, because it's not necessarily true. Like, I mean, we could play something like, I'll show you something. Listen to what I've been listening to lately, right? This is just this is just a drum track, right? Listen to this. Cook that shit up, go ahead. We're gonna count the switch ups, right?
No, if you bump, Glizzy got some big nuts. I'ma get a nigga touch. I had to kill such and such. No, if you dumb bitch, Glizzy got a whole dick. If a nigga move wrong, he gon' get his ass hit. Pussy whip back like a nigga receded. Shoot him in the stomach, them bullets he eat it. Pop him in his top, then his brain start leaking. Better shut the fuck up when a nigga start speaking. Knock a nigga weight off like I'm doing lipo. Yeah, I'm a psycho, strapped like a Dyco. Put insurance on yourself, nigga, you a Geico. I ain't never wrote a statement, nigga, you a typo. K the ops a pass, so them niggas really love me. I see these niggas looking at me, bet you ain't gon' touch me. Pretty Ricky Glizzy, but this shit can get ugly. Shoot a nigga in his face if he start mugging. Hop in this steamer, this bitch is a beamer. Back in the kitchen like I was a needle. Say she want kids, so I'm gonna feed her. Her nigga got wrong, so I had to beat him. Don't get wrong, bitch, a little red wrong. Got a whole lot of bread, I ain't talking about crumb. Got a whole lot of shots, come get you some. If a nigga that dumb, I'ma blow like a bomb. No, if you bump, Glizzy got some big nuts. I'ma get a nigga touch. I had to kill such and such. No, if you dumb bitch, Glizzy got a whole dick. If a nigga move wrong, he gon' get his ass hit.
That shit didn't even have music on it. That was just an 808, and there was 7 unique patterns on there. And that's a rapper. Just be careful with that. It's walking a fine line. It's walking a fine line. The more time I take mixing my beats, I take more time mixing my beats than making my beats. You got to fix that, bro. Mixing a beat should not take that long. Mixing a beat is so easy. Should not be taking a long time to mix a fucking beat. The fuck are you spending so much time on, bro? What are you spending so much time mixing a beat on? Touchtone says, I love hardware. The SSL Ultraviolet coming home soon. Congratulations. That'll be dope, bro. That'll be dope. Ultraviolet is a great EQ. Zach Am says that's just OCD. Mixing the beat. Yeah, mixing the beat for that long is OCD. Yo, all electronics are going up in price. I ain't buying no hardware. I'm glad I bought my hardware before COVID wrecked the supply chain. I'll tell you that much right now. PK says he barely mixes a beat. He just gets the levels correct. Yeah, man. You don't gotta you don't gotta mix the hell out of a beat, man. You really don't. Just make sure your bass isn't kicking your kicks ass. You know what I'm saying? And make sure your instruments aren't louder than your drums. Like yo, like that is 100% of y'all boys' problems. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. You want to get better at mixing beats? Do you want to get better at mixing beats? Do you have weak drums? Is your snare flaccid? Are you not getting the slaps? Are rappers not picking your beats? Do you go to the studio and the Ausbergers do not wiggle to your bass line? Do you know what you need to do? Turn your fucking instruments down. Turn your instruments down. Turn your instruments down. Turn them shits down. Turn them down. And antitrust says they got to use compression. You better shut up. You better shut up right now. Rudy, the I took that to the lab. There were two sections that were what's it called? Verified Pro Tools stuff. But there's four different 808 patterns in that song, bro. They actually used two different 808s to make that beat. Like two different 808 samples. They go in between the old Lex Luger 808 and the Zay 808. For sale said, yo, I was grabbing all types of hardware at the beginning of the pandemic. Now I'm sitting back laughing, followed my first mind. Yeah, bro. I ain't, bro, the price. Yo, today's price is wild. Like, I'm glad I got all my stuff, bro. Like, I'm so glad I got all my stuff. Cause these hardware prices are nuts right now, dude. I level and gain stage in minutes. I'm in a phase where I'm getting my EQs on point. But what are you EQing? Like, you're making the beat, so you shouldn't be writing a whole bunch of parts where the EQ is clashing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's with all the EQ, bro? Hold my beer. Do I ever EQ my fancy samples? What's a fancy sample? You're EQing kicks and 808s? I want to die. Oh my god, I want to die. You have fun, bro. You could go a lot faster if you just pick 808s and kicks that don't need EQ, bro. I got you. Hold my beer. Guys, all hardware is going up. I like, dude, like, oh man, I forget. I forget. I'm sorry. So there is a there's a microchip shortage, and there is a silicone shortage, and there's resistor shortages. You know what? You know what uses a lot of resistors? EQs and preamps. EQs and preamps. And then on top of that, inflation, y'all. It's rough. It's hard out here for a pimp when you got to get the money for the rent. When the Cadillacs and gas money spent, a whole lot of bitches jumping ship. Most of the sounds out of your favorite VST don't need anything to it. That's facts. It's time for another 808 and kick curated pack. You think so? You think we need Industry Slap Volume 2? I do got a bunch of new drum kits I could curate for you guys. Since the swipe kits sell the most, and that's what you people want. Guys don't want original sounds. Just want to know which ones are the good sounds. Let's go to Sweetwater. Yeah, flaccid snares, bro. you What's Sweetwater talking about? Let's see what those API tubes we're talking about. Those things were like what? Those things were pretty cheap when they came out, right? Yeah, I remember these. These were not $2,000. These were all under $2,000. Yesterday's price is not today's price. What you got on my API tube, homie? All right, PK. Thanks for tapping in. I still don't understand why Ant is boycotting CMP kits, but that's bullshit. Yeah, y'all gotta tap in with see y'all still buying from the store. Y'all gotta tap in with DJ Bless for your hardware stuff. Y'all gotta tap in with DJ Bless of Never So Deep Records. He's a distributor. He's like the store. He sells West Audio. He sells Dangerous, and something else. But if you're looking for a good price, you tap in with DJ Bless. Tell him CMP sent you. And just be straight up. Just be like, hey, I want to buy this West Audio so and so, and I don't want to pay full price. How can I do that? 607 will tell you. But I'm gonna get out of here, guys. This ring light is giving me a headache. Guys, keep it simple. Do not be basic.